So by now, you know about Steak Bake. This is my awesome alt account, the account where I just solo queue non-stop because I'm on a mission to get to GM in solo queue and I am stupidly close. However, I record every single game, and if I look at the last 38 games that I have played, and this is the last 38 games, I title each recording with what has happened in the game. The only time I lose is when I have a troll on the team. But why the hell is that? Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Unit Lost. I am Stylosa. And what I'm about to say, it could be considered not safe for work. So if you are a child, put your fingers in your ears right now. Oh, for fuck's sake, what are you playing Hanzo for? Hanzo is the worst thing ever. Mate, you know what? Fuck you, I'm going to play Torb. You're shit, mate. You're the worst ever. Can we swap the Hanzo? Oh, come on, Hanzo. Oh, whatever. Screw this. I'm just going to play. Fuck it. I'm playing Genji. We don't need support, so whatever. Have you ever come across that in a game? Now, I come across this quite a lot. And like I said, I do have recordings of this, but there is one thing I adhere to super strictly. I do not want to start witch hunts. I don't want to put people's names out there and go, look at this guy. He's so bad, he's so toxic, he's an idiot. Because it's not just a problem with Overwatch this. It's a problem with every single multiplayer game. But what happens is, I know I don't need to run you guys through this, but I'm going to run it through you. So, I played on Hollywood. Everybody selects their heroes as they lock in. The last hero slot is probably for a Lucio or a Zen, some sort of secondary healer, because we had a team that would have, would have worked together well. We had a Hanzo, okay. We had not Genji, sorry, let me just go through this again. We had a Hanzo, we had a Soldier, which was me, we had a Reinhardt, we had an Ana, and we had a Zarya. Now, that actually is not too bad, because if you think with those 5 players, the Zarya can combo with the Hanzo. That's actually a really powerful combo. Soldier just does his thing, Reinhardt protects, Soldier stays with the Reinhardt, Ana heals everybody. The last pick. What would you pick right now for the last pick? Well, this person picked Genji. Now, alright, I'm thinking, okay, we're on defense. This isn't too bad, right? You don't want to go in and just start saying, what the hell is this team? We need another healer, blah, blah, blah. So I sat there and I'm like, all right, we can do this. Let's go, guys. Because I want to try, stay positive. Straight away, and I couldn't believe this, the Hanzo player, we need another healer. Get off Genji. And I'm like, no, it's cool. It's all right. This can work. Because what I don't want to do, because what I absolutely categorically know to be fact, is if you start arguing in the spawn, you lose the game. Like, you absolutely will lose the game. There's no doubt about that. So I'm like, nah, it's cool. It's okay. Then the Genji player just started shouting over his microphone going, no, and then was just proceeded to not take part in the game. Now, you're probably thinking, what level is this at? Well, this guy was 4.2. 4.2. So that's 4,200 Grandmaster. What was he doing? Why was he acting like this? Well, it turns out, later on in the game, he elaborates and he says, Hanzo is the worst pick ever. I don't want a Hanzo on my team. But he said it in more colourful language. Hanzo was also Grandmaster. Now, I just want to explain something before I carry on with this video. Why do you think there are people who are Hanzo players, Symmetra players, Torbjorn players, who are in High Grandmaster, who are in Top 500? You know why? It's because they are anti-meta. Teams do not expect to play against these heroes, so they find it very difficult. You guys know I play with Valkyr, and actually, I played against Valkyr, I was going to say today, but that's the day of recording this video, and he was on the other team. I knew he was going to play Pharah. I played Soldier. I focused him down, absolutely wrecked him. We won the game. That's just the way it goes, right? That is the way it goes. And when you start forcing them to swap their heroes to other heroes, then it becomes interesting. But that's besides the point. What happened was, players who select off-meta heroes seemingly cause this massive shockwave of toxicity, of hate, of becoming tilted, just because they don't like the hero, but they've not given the person a chance to play at all. It's just like, I don't like that, get off that, alright, you're not going to do this, so I'm just going to throw it. And I've been trying for ages to get my head around this mentality. How the hell you see, I'm struggling to even put this into words. How do you come to the conclusion of, you know what, I don't like the fact that you've picked Widow, so I'm going to play Torbjorn and just do nothing. I mean, Torbjorn's still okay, but you're going to pick him and just do nothing because maybe you were Reinhardt, maybe you were Ana, like a crucial team member that was needed, and you've just swapped off that because, whatever. I don't want to play this game. I'm just going to throw it because I'm going to teach you a lesson. And I've been trying to think why people do this and how can we stop them from doing this and all of this stuff. But at the end of the day, all of that is pointless because these people are just going to do that anyway. And like I said, this isn't just restricted to Overwatch. It's every multiplayer online game. people, humans, they have this problem, everybody's got it, where it's never your fault, it's always somebody else's fault. So, you know what, this isn't my fault, it's not my fault I lost, it's the fact you picked Hanzo in the spawn. But you never even give Hanzo a chance. Why is that Hanzo at Grandmaster? Why is this Hanzo at top 500? Well, it's probably because he plays quite well, and it's probably because he can do work on his hero that he selected. I've said this in other videos. I would always want somebody playing a hero they play the most. I just want them playing that hero. I don't care if this Hanzo should be playing Soldier, because you think Soldier's in the meta. Sure he is, but he's playing Hanzo. He's got 100 hours on Hanzo. He's a Grandmaster Hanzo. He knows what he's doing with Hanzo. Let him carry on. And people never do this. And then you see the old thing of them. People will start going back through Season 2 history, Season 1 history. Oh, you were trash in Season 2. This is the reason we've lost. Yet the game hasn't even started. And this happens quite often. Now, I have been, I guess you can say smurfing to some degree. Let's say I've been incognito on the Steak Bake account for a while, although I'm going to have to change the name obviously now because people are starting to recognise me on it, which isn't great. But because I'm playing on that, like I thought for a while that I just got a high number of like trollish behaviour and people who threw games because it was Stylosa, right? People would see Stylosa and they'd say things like, oh, boosted YouTuber, blah, 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 and whatever, you know, it's all water under the bridge. But then if they were on my team, they would start to do things that would just throw the game. Like they wouldn't care. It was like, ha, it's funny to see Sty lose, right? And I was starting to think like, oh, right, maybe, you know, it's just because of Stylosa. But I can say it's not, because Steak Bake gets the same number of this kind of behaviour. Like calling them trolls, calling them toxics maybe a bit too much. It's just, it kind of is trollish behaviour, right? They just don't want to win because they don't agree with what's happening. Sometimes as well, you'll see people want a hero of somebody else and they won't give them the hero. So naturally, they're like, well, no, I think you'll find that I am the best Genji. You should give me Genji. If you don't, well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to do nothing. So fuck you and everybody can kiss my arse. And it's a crazy attitude. So let's just wind this back a bit. What am I trying to do with this video? Because I've just spent like the last 7 minutes talking about you know, what this issue is and why it's a problem and how can we combat this problem. Well, I don't think we can, but there is one thing we can do, and that's you've got to try and stop doing this yourself. The only way to fix this is to play as a community together, because what I've been doing on Steak Bake, and it's very rare that this results in a win, like it's 1 in 10 if somebody's majorly tilting, right, and starts getting really aggressive at the team for whatever reason, because they don't like hero picks, they don't like the fact Reinhardt charged them or whatever, some sort of stupid thing, and they start going crazy, I'll try and say, no, it's alright guys, we've got this, we can do it. Maybe 1 in 10 games it results in a win. So, you know, instead of losing that game, you might have actually won that game, right? But it's a lot of energy, it's a lot of effort to do this. Like, I've found myself waning because I'm like, oh, come on guys, it'll be fine. I feel like I'm babysitting these people at times and it's ridiculous. It's like, what's going on? But I think it's having a little bit of a positive impact. So then I started thinking, what happens if everybody does this? Like, if you're in a game and you see somebody moaning because they don't like a hero pick, just say, oh, it's cool, it'll probably be fine. Because remember, the enemy team, they're going to be obsessed with the meta most of the time. And if you suddenly pull a hero out they don't expect, like maybe you pull out a Pharah, maybe you pull out a Torbjorn when you don't expect it, or a Bastion on the payload, or something stupid like that, they don't expect it. And you would be surprised how often this can just win a game because teams won't deal with it. So you have to give people a chance. But what you've got to do is just think to yourself, right, I don't agree with what this person's done, but what I'm going to do is just say, it'll be fine, let's roll with it, let's see what happens, because that's the only thing you can do, right? Because if you sit there, right, and this has happened to me before, if you sit there and you're like, you know what, oh, this is a fucking joke, this is, and you're like, sit back in your chair like, oh, what the crap, this is the worst. Oh. So you start tilting, right? You might not be saying this to your team, but you start getting negative. Then you go into your next game, and the little things start to piss you off. Like, I've got recordings of myself doing this where I'll then notice Reinhardt charges, but it's a bit of a crazy charge, and I'll be like, oh god, what are you doing, Reinhardt? And stupid things like that. Obviously, I don't transmit this to the team, but I can hear it because my microphone's always being recorded. When that starts happening, you start becoming part of the problem, and then you become the problem. Maybe as this gets worse and worse and worse and worse, it becomes more of an issue, and then you lose more games because of it, and this sort of toxic, trollish behaviour starts to spread. What I want you guys to take from this video, though, is just try and be chill, right? Try and be chill. This is going to be a never-ending topic and a never-ending point of discussion because it happens all of the time, and it's quite frustrating. I do believe it happens more so around the tops of level ranges, or rather, not level ranges, what I'm talking about, like rank ranges. So if you are like high platinum about to go to diamond, it's very pressurized there because people want to get into Diamond, right? They want to try and break into that 3K, and then people are really trying hard, and any little major problem causes them a massive ball ache. Like, if you look at me right now, I haven't made it to GM on Steakbake. He's, I think he's 3908 or something right now. He was 3974 or something at the start of the day. So you can see I've gone down, and I lost those games. I lost 3 games on the trot because, well, yeah, it was just trollish behavior. It wasn't bad plays off me. The games were lost in the spawn. And like I said, I could put this into a video, but I don't want to do that because that is witch hunting, and I'm not interested in that. What I'm interested in is making Overwatch a better game for everybody to play. I love this game. All you guys love this game if you're watching my channel. So what we've got to do is try and just be calm, try and be chill. You know what? After a while of doing it, you'll start to become... You will chill out more, and you'll feel that you maybe are having an impact. And there will be the odd time where people are like, oh wow, I'm sorry for my behavior earlier on. It's going to be rare, because remember, this is the internet. People are anonymous. They're just going to, you know, be dickheads sometimes because they can. But you can't get around that. And that is the final point I want to end this video on, is if you do get somebody on your team, like when I was at my season high, so I was at like 3978 or whatever the hell it was, probably one more game, because I was on a 3-game win streak actually. So one more game probably would have took me into GM. And it was on Hollywood, on defense on the first point. And we get a guy who just is like, hi, I have no interest in playing this game, lol. And I'm like, okay. So, right? Well, what do you even say to that? And then the guy just did nothing all game. Like, he just intentionally went and fed and died. You will get that. What you've got to do when that happens is just think, oh, well, whatever. I'll just practice my accuracy on Soldier. And that's what I did, you know. And we never had no chance because we were a man down and we lost the game. And, you know, it was fine. It was whatever. Then I go into the next game and I get the very toxic behavior between the Hanzo and the Genji players. Then I go into the next game and I have another issue. And then I'm down to 30908 or 3908. That's what I'm down to. I'm not at 30,000. That would be an insane rank. So I dropped down to that because of those players. But you've just got to just chill and just think, all right, whatever. Like, I'm going to go into my next game right now after recording this video, and I'm cool. It's just like, whatever. We'll play, we'll see what happens. You will have great games. You will have bad games. Just don't let the bad games affect you. And also, try not to spread the tilt, because it will spread like wildfire. Just try and be positive. I know I'm like preaching about this all the time, but the only way this community can get better is if we all try and make it better together. I can't make videos and go, oh yeah, you know, be positive, because people don't care, right? We all have to try and do this ourselves. So what I want you to do in the comments below is leave a comment and tell me if this has happened on your team, and tell me if you've tried to be positive. Also, just admit if you've actually been the guy tilting. Like, say why you've tilted and what's happened. Sometimes it's issues that are not even related to the game. It can just be you've had a bad day at work. Maybe you were in traffic for God knows how long. You've just had a bad phone call. You know, your girlfriend's dumped you. I don't know, something like that's happened. So you come onto the game and you're looking for an excuse just to go crazy at somebody. You know, sometimes that happens. But remember, there are 5 other people on your team, and they are people. They're not just AI or whatever. They are people, and they're all trying to play together. So if you're not going to play together, why are you trying to play a multiplayer game? Like, you should maybe calm down and look and do some other stuff. I don't know. All right, guys. I'm going to leave it at that. I've been Stylosa, and this is Unit Lost. And let's make this game great, because it is awesome. And I'll catch you next time, guys. Toodaloo.